And a good afternoon to you, Hokies. Gentlemen, Jim Wood in the groove right now at just about 26 past 12 o'clock on a sunny Friday afternoon.
The Virginia Tech Sound, WUVT, wuvt dial 64.
And a good afternoon to you, Hokies. A super sunny September day at Tech with yours truly, Gentleman Jim Wood, right here at 640.
It was, pretty well known on campus back when I got here. Freshmen, sophomore, juniors, anyone knew about the station. It was pretty well out there. You could see where it was. And the AM, if you were in certain dorms, you would be able to listen to the AM station, and the FM station, of course, broadcast all over. AM, I believe, was in the Hokie House, and FM was stationed at the bank building on the corner of Roanoke and Main, where Sugar Magnolia is now. One of my friends from high school, we were freshmen together, and she was one of the DJs on the AM station, and we would listen to her on the Tech TV channel. So you turn on channel 2 on campus, and all it was just kind of like a slideshow of just, events. But over that was the AM radio. And it was fun because the AM, it was almost kind of like more underground than the FM. You know what I mean? I first started DJing in 1993. It was just me and one of my roommates just had a wild hair one day to go to the organizational meeting and see what it was about.
I went to buy my chemistry book, and Tim Hogan was handling a remote out on the steps of the bookstore, and I immediately realized that radio wasn't as far away as I thought it was. When I came, AM was a functioning operational carrier current radio station. We sold ads on it. It was a major revenue producer, and it was a great training ground for actually doing commercial radio. FM was a training ground for doing a more progressive style of radio. So you had top 40 and you had progressive FM. And that was what you had back in the day in the late 70s. The studio was in Squires, and that literally is the same studio we all sat in. And this window is the same window that's been here for forever. This was called the airlock. And then the door to FM was right there. They've now cinder blocked over it. And you would walk into the FM studio, and the board was against that wall. And the window is the same because it's bent in the corner where we used to hang a wire down where people would buzz the button and a light would come on, and we'd know that somebody was downstairs ready to come in and do the next shift after Squires closed. And then we'd have to put on a long song, run out of the studio, run down the hallway to the same stairwell that exists, and we'd run downstairs and let them in and then run back up.
I've been the librarian since, I guess, the late 90s. So yeah, all of the plastic cards that divide all the CDs and vinyl, that's me. Me and Josh drove up to DC and picked up all these metal stacks from a radio station in DC that a former wuvt engineer was working at. I went up and got these stacks from Roanoke's NPR station, and I built a lot of the other ones.
One of the things that unfortunately happened while I was on the air on a Monday night was the night that John Lennon was killed. We had a teletype machine, and it rang 10 bells. And we were told that if you ever hear 10 bells, it's because, World War III is happening. So we hesitated to go out to the machine, and then it rang 10 bells again and again. And we said, well, we got to go. We're on the air. It's our responsibility. And we went out, and John Lennon had been shot and was later pronounced dead. The teletype machine printed out the story. We read exactly what had been printed by the Associated Press. Then we played the Boomtown Rats, I Don't Like Mondays, because that's exactly what Mark David Chapman, that was his reasoning. He just didn't like Mondays.
That was on a Tuesday, and we held locals on the next night. and the band that played was Soul Creech Band. Real like spiritual blues, and it just happened to be that was the band already booked, and they were just like a beacon of positivity. There was a lot of dead air at the time, and I just happened to be in the office a little bit before my show Thursday night, and the phone rings, and Marcus picks it up, and it was some kid. And he asks, "Is Len going to be on tonight?" So yeah, wuvt provides light. Yeah, when you get a call like that, there's no way you can't not go on. You know, I was going on anyway, but that told me that like there were people out there who needed us. Not me, but needed what wuvt can give.
You know, the more things change, the more they stay the same. We'll always have inflation, we'll always have tragedies, we'll always have high moments and lows, and I think if WUVT continues to be the soundtrack to many of their lives, at least one day a week.
People can call us, and we answer. Now that we have speakerphone, you can still walk around the station and still talk to them, which is great.
I think that's what brings people here. They want to explore. I think that's what does it. It's a willingness to want to share your taste in music.
I like this place. It's a good little place. And I like spinning. I like sharing the music with everybody. And my favorite part of my show is like, you know, like I don't want you to be able to predict. If you can predict what I'm going to play, I have failed.
I just love this place, and I think it gave me so much as a student that I'm continuing to give back. Now, are you sure we recorded?